Good evening. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Highland Park Plan and Design Commission to order. On today, Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Director, will you please take the roll?
Commissioner Henry. Commissioner Arnold.
Here.
Commissioner Mantis.
Present.
Commissioner Bruckman. Commissioner Hecht. Vice Chair Kirsch.
Present.
And Chair Moore.
Present.
We have a quorum, Madam Chair.
All right, wonderful. First item on our agenda is approving the minutes from the last meeting, which was March 5th, 2024. I will be abstaining since I wasn't at the meeting, but I do have a question about them. So, and I did watch the meeting, so I'm all up to date. So can I get a motion?
Move approval.
Can I get a second? Motion by Vice Chair Kirsch, seconded by Commissioner Mantis. Any discussion? I had one comment on, I believe it is packet page 3, towards the bottom lines 39 to 42. There's a discussion on the 21 parking spaces and identifying the commercial ones. And it says Ms. Claremont identified the 18 spaces and noted these are reserved for residents of the apartment building. I believe that is supposed to mean that those are the 18 remaining commercial ones, because there are 3 for the personal trainer. So perhaps it could be clarified at some point. So can we vote on that with that amendment or addition? Okay, all in favor of adopting the minutes from March 5th, 2024 with that clarification?
Aye.
And I abstain. Motion passes. Okay, on to our scheduled business. We really just have one main item, which is the design review for the Park District Dome Replacement Project with variations at 2205 Skokie Valley Road. Planner Burhop, do you have a presentation for us?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Hello, my name is Carl Burhop. I'm a senior planner with the Community Development Department. This is a presentation for the property 2205 Skokie Valley Road. This is a design review with landscaping variations for the Park District project to replace the dome. This is a new item, but this is design review and a landscaping variation. So this is a public meeting, not a public hearing. The consideration, there are 2 before the commission. The commission is the decision maker for this. This will not go to council. Design review, and then the landscaping variations. Again, this is a project to replace the park dome. I have additional slides with pictures since that blue blocks out the current dome, but that's the location of the property along Highway 41, just immediately north of Target and south of my office on 1150 Half Day Road. So the commission this evening, you're looking to either adopt the COA, which is certificate of approval, that will approve the request, or you can adopt it with amendments, or you can continue for more information or changes or deny. Changes proposed. So to start off with, the council approved this originally back in 1999. They had to get height relief and setback relief. That approval is still valid. That's a variation ordinance, runs with the land. The new dome is essentially the same dimensions, approximately. The proposed one is about 262 feet by 202 feet in footprint, or 52,000 square feet in footprint. Again, approximately the same footprint, and will be approximately the same height, I think slightly less. The proposed height is 66 feet. I believe that's adjacent to grade as opposed to the zoning height requirement, but the applicant did verify that it will not exceed what was approved in 1999. And the proposal is to have sports courts inside the dome, as along with accessory uses like bathroom, I think some type of store as well, equipment storage. No changes are proposed to parking. No changes are proposed to exterior lighting. If necessary, I'll have the applicant's team speak more about the design and the materials, but I can at least summarize it as saying it's vinyl coated polyester with a clear hard barrier PVDF coating, along with thermal liner and bubble foil insulation. Again, if there are questions on that, I would defer those to the applicant's team. Of course, the improvements will need a building permit and will be reviewed for building code, life, fire, safety code, et cetera. And then they also propose a new generator for backup power at approximately the same location where there's one right now. This is the neighborhood, so that's the existing dome. This is the most recent aerial, which I think is just last year. And so you can see the distances there. So the actual footprint of the structure is just over about 1,500 feet away from the nearest single-family home to the east. And then to the west is immediately to the west is city property that's just shrubs and trees. Then you have Highway 41 and then commercial to the west. And then if you zoom out to the north again is the Public Works campus and the community development offices where I work. And then to the south is Target with their parking lot. That was me trying to do a zoom in to show the existing landscaping. I'm not sure how much that shows, but that's there. These are the existing conditions. The one on the left was in the packet that the applicant submitted that. I believe they're standing southeast looking northwest. And then on the right, I snagged those from Google. I could have taken a picture of my drive to work, but I don't take photos when I drive. But it's on Highway 41 moving north. The top right is obviously kind of looking more north and northeast. And the one in the middle, kind of looking just straight east right at it. But it is actually, even though it's kind of big, from some angles, it is hard to see. It depends on the angle, obviously. And it depends on how, the trees and shrubs are filled in. And again, this is a project for replacement. The dome is already there. It's ended its useful life, and the Park District would like to replace it. And to be clear, this is on city property. The city owns this property. These were in the packet. That's an elevation indicating height, and then that's a rendering below. Landscaping, this was all in the report. It is technically new, what they're constructing. They're demolishing and constructing new, so the foundation plantings are required, 5 foot in depth around the foundation, minus those enumerated allowed interruptions that were in the report and in the code. The applicant proposes to provide along the south foundation, which faces the public parking area. And then the applicant has requested relief from the west, north, and east sides. And then what's there right now, there is currently an access way that goes around it. And staff does recommend that needs to stay there for fire access and safety access if a fire truck needs to get around to the other side to fight a fire. And then also, I'd point out that there's existing vegetation and berms. And then the commission should also take into account the distance to neighbors and single family when considering the context of this variation. And then that's just my table with what's proposed and the relief requested. And that was also in the report. And then that's the landscaping plan and the planning schedule, and that was also in the report as well. Recommendation, commission should open this as a public meeting. Take testimony or feedback as appropriate, deliberate and direct as appropriate. The commission is a decision-making body. The commission may adopt the COA, that's the certificate of approval. It was included in the packet, but of course was left unsigned by myself as it was draft. So the commission can adopt that and approve the design review and approve the landscaping variation or consider other action as appropriate. And I can take questions if any. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the commission?
I just had one. So you said the footprint is the same.
Essentially, yes.
And height will be conforming with the prior variance as well?
That is correct. It's either right up to the same height, or if I remember my numbers correctly, it might be 2 or 3 feet less.
Okay.
Any more questions? Oh, yes.
Can you put the site plan back up?
I don't think I actually have the site plan here. I can put it up if you would like. I can pull it up separately. Otherwise, I have the landscaping plan or
Great.
okay,
Great.
I will do that.
Can you explain what's going on in the parking lot area?
There are changes in the parking lot area. I don't think, yeah, I don't believe a site plan was submitted that depicts the parking lot area because the narrative specifically stated that there are no changes proposed to the parking.
So the relief for the landscaping is relief from putting trees in what area?
Immediately adjacent to the foundation, actually. So the relief that's requested, again, this is what's there now, that's going to be demolished, and essentially one of the same area will be constructed is what's proposed. And so foundation plantings are required along the north, the east, and the west, and the south. And the applicant proposes to do them along the south that face the public areas. And the applicant requests relief immediately along the west, the north, and the east sides.
Why? Is there not room, or just because it's not visible to the people entering, or? Pardon?
Yes. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. I was going to respond. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to understand why they need relief from landscaping. They're the park district, so it's baffling to me. I mean, the greening of spaces and the sustainability and the long-term longevity of environment. I mean, why is there needing relief on landscaping? I'm confused.
So one of the reasons, and I don't know if this shows it the best, but there's currently an access drive. It's not terribly wide, but there's an access drive that hugs the foundation that goes around the building. And that's there now. And the applicant proposes to keep that there. And one of the reasons that's there is so that a fire truck or an ambulance can access any side of the structure if there's an emergency. So one of the reasons that the relief is being requested is because this access way is needed for purposes of life and safety. And then of course, one of the other reasons is it's not clear how visible that landscaping would even be from adjacent properties because of the distances to other properties and because there's already existing landscaping and berming around the west, the north, and the east.
So is the landscaping considered only ornamental, or is it considered for other purposes?
I believe mostly for aesthetics and screening, ornamental in nature. I mean, it serves other purposes, obviously, but that's, I think, the primary impetus of Article 22 is for aesthetics and ornamental, but yeah, it does serve other purposes.
And I don't know if this is a question for you or for them, but is there no other places to put the landscaping? I mean, if there's an existing parking lot is not being touched, I understand that, but there's also a lack of, trees or landscaping in that existing parking lot area. Or up the drive, or, in other places where I just find it confusing when the park district doesn't want to plant trees.
I don't have responsibility.
So there's already you say there's already a berm around the property, around the foundation on the outside of the drive that goes, so the drive hugs the foundation. The foundation is not changing, correct?
That's right. Yes,
Right, because you're popping the bubble and putting the new bubble on top of the existing foundation, correct? So the foundation stays, the circular access road stays, and there is a berm, as you're showing there, around the access route already, and that's not being touched.
That's correct.
Right. So and I assume that the parking lot, when it was developed in the first place, met all the landscape requirements when it was first approved.
Well, presumably or
received a variation for it. So, I mean, I don't have a problem because I feel like the landscaping is already there in the berms around the ring road.
Right. I mean, that's staff's position, yes, that
Any more questions, comments, questions? All right, so does the Park District wish to speak?
Good evening, and I want to thank the commission for your time this evening. My name is Brian Romes. I'm the executive director with the Park District of Highland Park. We have various staff members here as well from our planning department, our recreation department, board commissioner as well. We also have our landscape architect, Ben Kutscheit, if you would like some further detail regarding the landscaping. But obviously the Park District, first I want to say we're very excited for this project. We're very excited to be able to bring this amenity to the community, which will provide for the much increasing need of pickleball and padel. In regards to the planting of trees, obviously we love planting trees. We are a park district, and it is very important in this situation. That access road is important to maintain for emergency egress for the vehicles, as Carl had mentioned, to get on the side of the building. And there is plenty of vegetation surrounding the building. This is a natural area actually surrounding this air-supported dome. But if there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, I know you get me because it's off topic, but I spent so many hours in there for soccer, and now it's going to be pickleball.
That's right. Fastest growing sport in America. And it will actually serve more residents than it currently does. Currently, it's being operated by a third party, and there are a lot of non-resident groups in there, and we are meeting a need of our community that we hear about on a regular basis. Indoor pickleball is in high demand.
But the change to pickle and padel is not really related to the need for a new dome. The new dome is needed regardless of what's underneath it.
Yeah, it's aged. It's at its useful life, and we are also at the end of our agreement with the current concessionaire who owns that dome.
Okay. Do we have any more questions for the Park District? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So the idea is to, we would need sorry, do we have any public comment? No public comment. So we would need a motion to approve the certificate approval for the design review and the landscape variation. Does someone care to make a motion for that?
I would move that we adopt the certificate of approval for the design review and the landscape variations as presented.
So motioned by Vice Chair Kirch. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Mantis. Do we do a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Arnold,
No.
Commissioner Mantis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kirsch,
Aye.
Chairman Moore.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The motion carries 3-1. This item is approved.
All right. Thank you. Okay, moving on to other business. Do we have an administrative design review update?
I do, actually. I do have one update for that. Golf course where Edgewood kind of dead ends, but then becomes Crofton Avenue South. So it'd be the south part of the golf course, not the north part, but the south part. There was already a gate and a fence there before, and they either have or will remove that, and they're going to put a new gate and fence, and they comply with the code by right, materials and height, and so that was approved administratively.
Great.
Can I ask that property, because they also built something on there recently, right?
Well, so that was from several years ago. Yes, there was a new, so it's correct, this is related to that. Well, related insofar as it's the same area and will be for the access drive. This is for that new maintenance facility on the south side. That is correct. And of course, that did go through design review some time ago already.
So it must have been before I got on board, right? It just took them a while. It just took them a while to build it.
That's correct, yeah. Your memory is correct. It was just before you were on the board, I believe.
Okay, and anything else?
Not from design review, but there is a case briefing.
Okay, our next regular, I'm going in order.
Okay, yep,
B
when
is
you're
the next
ready.
regular meeting is April 2nd of 2024. Do we have a list yet of what we'll be seeing?
So for April 2nd, 2024, there should be 2 items. So the fence zoning text amendment was continued to that date. So far, it looks like staff should hopefully have something ready. Then the other item, which is very important, and I encourage everyone to attend, Corporation Council will be given its annual training on April 2nd.
All righty. Be there or be square. Okay, case briefing?
2 case briefings for you this evening. City Council adopted changes to zoning and building code related to tents per the recommendation of this body, and also approved the recommendation of amendment to a plan development and development agreement related to 555 Roger Williams Avenue in accordance with the recommendation of the commission, with one exception, that the public benefit be increased, and it was increased to $10,000 from $5,000, dedicated to improvements, streetscape, and other types of improvements within the Ravinia TIF district. So that will be used pretty much straight away for the bike shelter project that will be implemented this year in the district.
Wonderful. Anything else?
That's all.
All right, do we have any business from the public? I don't see any business from the public. Okay, in that case, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Very speedy. So a motion by Commissioner Mantis, seconded by Vice Chair Kirch. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned.
Oh, yeah, sure, you could have done this 2 weeks ago. No.